O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days from Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
So, do we have sound? Let's see. No sound. No. Yay. No. Yay. Yay. No. Yay. 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 Now we're good. Okay. Welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll on a beautiful Tuesday, live from Hialeah Park. Yes, sir. Like we always are every Tuesday here at Hialeah Park. Got a loaded show for you today. David Furones will join us to talk a little Dolphins. Ira Winderman will join us to talk a little Miami Heat. We will talk our own, all kinds of good stuff. The great Steve Calabro will come by and join us. So loaded programa for you today. The great Sean Stanley mastering it all as always on a beautiful Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. And it is day number 18,989 since the Miami Dolphins won the World Championship. And it is day number 8,772 since the Canes were national champions. And we'll see if in less than a week we can reset that counter. That would be good. That would be fantastic. Okay, so I like it. 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 All right. All right. All right. Don't forget, those of you already on the chat board, please smash it and the like button too. Okay. That helps out the algorithms, as always, we tell you. So smash the like button. It really, really helps out. Visit our amazing sponsors, of course, because we've got great ones like EJD Construction, Welt and Realm, Caneswear, so here at Hialeah Park, where they're giving away Mercedes and Alfa Romeos and Bitcoin and gold and his and her Rolexes and trips and all kinds of stuff. So many reasons for you to come on out here. Loose slots, no smoking in the building. They do have smoking areas on the outside right here on the second floor. They got a beautiful balcony. You can look out to the landscape and all that. And by the way, the architecture in this building is, this is a historic building here in Florida, man. So come on out and check it out. It is absolutely beautiful, and enjoy. All right. Whoa, Panthers, by the way, got it done yesterday, so that is nice. Sean Stanley, the Panthers, they got a big victory. They won 2 in a row. They beat the Sabres 4-3. Give them a victory cigar. Love it, love it, love it. Well-deserved victory cigar. By the way, the line for the Canes, Indiana's favored by 8.5 now. Yeah, it was 7.5 yesterday. Over and under still the same at 48.5. Canes are plus 280 in the money line, and Indiana went up from minus 325 to minus 350 on the money line. So the money is coming in on Indiana right now. So confidence is high. And why? Because Miami played a sloppy-ass game against Ole Miss. And Indiana does not play any sloppy games. And that's what you've seen in the playoffs, that they have played clean games, and in the Big Ten championship. So the last, month here that they've played, it's been big games, and they've played very disciplined, whereas Miami in the last game made the kind of mistakes that you and I know they will lose to Indiana if they play the way they played against Ole Miss. Okay? Because Trinidad is good and all that, but Mendoza's better. Okay? This kid is just locked in. He's thinking NFL level right now when he's playing out there. He's not a guy that, he doesn't depend on his athleticism. He'll use it if he has to, but he can make a living from the pocket. And right now, he's in a zone that no QB is in right now in college football. That's why he won the Heisman, and there was no debate on giving the young man the Heisman. And then he wins the Heisman, and then he does this. What we got news? We got our coach. Oh, okay. Why you got a face?
I'm
is that
sorry.
good?
After a historic 19-season run in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin just informed his team that he is stepping down as the Steelers head coach.
All
that
right.
makes number 9 now on the market.
Okay. No.
Somebody Phil today?
No. He's stepping down. They own his rights.
I meant job opening. 9 job
Oh,
openings.
yes.
No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
But,
I misspoke.
but he's not available. Not available yet. You would have to trade for him if he wants to continue. If he doesn't, then he'll take the year off like they've been talking about in the TV and all that. So Mike Tomlin is done in Pittsburgh. Time for a cool change. Oh, I know it's time for a cool change. Little river band for you. That's what's going on with John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. You know, this happens a lot. We see it in relationships. The man hits like his 50, late 40s, and he looks at his wife and says, "You're also 50, late 40s. I'm looking for a cool change." And they go and find a 25-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes they're 75 and they find a 25-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That also could be, a different kind of cool change. Yes.
Can I ask a dumb question now, though?
Yes, go ahead.
Where does the Steelers now rank as far as the job opening?
Oh, God, it's a terrible job. It's great culture, like from the family, but the team sucks.
Yeah.
And their team building sucks.
True.
I don't care what anybody tells me, that you don't win playoff games and you have constant problems with players.
Yeah, you make it, but you never win it.
Yeah, you make it because you're a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
But it's like Shula. You derail your own chances because you have players that are just not disciplined enough, or they're, whatever, and you're constantly, and he's part of the problem, by the way. He has final say on the roster. You cannot make a move without his approval. So he can tell you about a player he wants and you get it, and he can also tell you about a player that you may like and he may not want it. And so all these crazy bastards that have been on the team the last few years, boom. He has never won a Super Bowl or even big with his players. It was all the Ben Roethlisberger era from Bill Cowher. That's when he won. He won a little bit after Bill Cowher, right after. And then after that, he never really was able to really duplicate that kind of success later on with his own players. Once he's had his own quarterbacks and his own teams and all that, he doesn't succeed. And he's part of the personnel issues. That's why I've told you before, I am not interested in Mike Tomlin at all. At all. Why? He's going to want personnel say. And he's proven to me in Pittsburgh that he cannot put together a Super Bowl team because he can't put together Super Bowl talent. So I know he can coach, but he's not going to come to your team and say, yeah, somebody else is going to do, as Parcells would put, somebody else would do the shopping for the groceries and I'll just coach. He's not going to want that. John Harbaugh's not going to want that. That's why the other thing, it's so silly about the Dolphins and, some Dolphins the media, I don't know where they're coming from. Some of them are maybe dumb enough to believe that they've got that Harbaugh could come here, or the other ones are just, clickbaiting you guys. But, it's Harbaugh's not going anywhere where he doesn't have total control, dude. And they're going to give it to him. And guys like that, you have to give it to him. You have no choice. You're not going to get them if you don't. The Giants aren't going to get John Harbaugh if John Harbaugh doesn't have final say if Schoen is going to stay the GM. They're not going to tell him, oh, well, we want you, but you have to take this GM. That's not how it goes. That's why I told silly Dolphin fans, once you hired the GM, the Dolphins know they have no shot at Harbaugh. They know. This is all PR. They're on the list or whatever. And, when Schefter put out the top 4 teams, they weren't there. You know who was there? The Browns instead of the Dolphins. And do you know why when I saw that, what I thought of? He doesn't want to use Stephen Ross as the guy that drives up the price for everybody else. Instead, he's going to use the Browns to drive up the price because of the relationship with Jim Harbaugh, his brother, and the whole Michigan thing. He's from Miami of Ohio. He doesn't give a shit about this. He doesn't care about Stephen Ross. Okay, that part, but he'll probably do it out of respect for his brother and kind of let him down, slowly, because the guy did go after his brother to offer him a lot of money. So you don't necessarily want to piss off completely or insult the billionaire. So you kind of let him down lightly, but you don't want to use the billionaire. Okay? You don't want to then bring him into the fold and then use him as a prop in the whole thing. So Cleveland's the prop. Okay? I'm just telling you from a cynical person that has been at this for 30-something years, that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And that's all right, man. I don't have a problem with it. I just hope John Eric Sullivan is able to find a good coach to start off his career, because if you don't have the good coach to maximize your talent, then you're SOL, as they say. So it's all part of the combination. We'll see what happens. But Tomlin, by the way, on TV, if he does take a TV job, he will be phenomenal on TV. He will be phenomenal on TV because he can speak, dude. He can talk, and he's got the adjectives flowing. He's got the one-liners flowing. He's good. He's good. So that's gonna work well for him. And then he gets to work his final year with the Steelers on air, and then they lose out on compensation after a year because he only has 1 year left on his contract. So then that'll expire. They won't have his rights, and then he'll have complete free agency in 2027, and he'll have a year of being on television and kind of even blowing his name up even more for teams in 2027. So what they'll do is they'll line up for his ass in 2027. I can see that. Because it's kind of late in the cycle right now that you're going to now get right back on. And there's a little bit of a burnout here going on, it looks like. And I kind of get the sense that he's probably going to step down and take some time off. They've just said right now stepping down, right? That's all they've said. Oh. Well, I mean, he will be. So people will inquire. Yeah. Yeah, you don't get to leave and leave 1 year on the contract and then go somewhere else. And, hey, I'm going to Baltimore, which, by the way, is the best job available, would be Baltimore. So, that's why the Steelers will control his rights for 1 year. That's, what's going to happen. Contracts in big business just don't work like that. You don't get to just walk away from them. I've dealt with that myself several times in my career. And thank the Lord, I will not ever deal with it again, because obviously this is 6 years on the platform, and we will end it here. I will not have to deal with the corporate world. I never want to deal with the corporate world ever again. And I am super blessed in that sense. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation as always. And we appreciate it. What happened to you?
I try to watch the comments as much as possible. And I swear it's like the fifth one. And this was a super chat this time.
Okay.
From Anthony Campos, Kyle Campos. That's tequila in the blue bottle. That's like the fifth or sixth comment in there.
Oh, is there a commercial back there with tequila or something?
No, the blue bottle you're drinking.
Oh, yeah. I'm drinking tequila.
Wait till we get to the second hour. The slurring starts.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to really speak from the heart here, okay? I have switched officially. I am a Saratoga guy now instead of Fiji. I switched to glass. No more plastic. It's more glass. With plastic, I'm an ass. With glass, I'm not. So that's kind of the decision I made. Anyway, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. The great Ho Yoon. Thank you, sir, for the generosity and the donation on Venmo. He just puts, as always, have a great day. Well, Ho Yoon, I will see you in a little over 2 weeks, my friend. All right? We'll be hanging out there in Jacksonville. I'll be in Jacksonville, by the way, at the end of the month. I don't know. I know I'm going to be hanging out with Ho Yoon. I'll be hanging out with Ocala Joe. I don't know how many of you live in that Jacksonville area, Ocala, whatever, all those areas there. So I'll be in Jacksonville at the end of the month. I'll be at not only hanging out with Ho Yoon and Ocala Joe, but I'm going to go to the John Waite concert on Sunday. And that'll be at the, what's it called? Let me pull up my tickets. Let me pull up my tickets, man. Here it is. No, I got it right here, bro. I got it quickly here. John Waite, they are at the Pontevedra Concert Hall. So I'll be there Sunday, February 1st. So I'll be there on the 30th of January, and the 1st I'll be up there in that area. So if you live in that area, hang out in that area, tell me, so we can meet and hang out. Would love to meet any of the folks that obviously are big supporters of our program, and we always appreciate that. I see Jamie Zorria is number 1 out in San Jose. Joseph is in. He says, the disrespect for Miami nationally is insane, Big O. I feel like our Canes will prove it, the doubters wrong Monday. What do you think, sir? I think Miami has to play a perfect game in order to win that game. They can win with their defense. I think Beck has played really good and clutch in key downs overall, but they have to eliminate the stupid penalties and the mistakes. What they did against Ole Miss, Joseph, they'll lose by 10 or 20. Okay? They cannot do that against this team. So they've got to play smart. Can they win? Hell yeah, they can win. I'm betting them already. I'm taking the points. But they've got to play a perfect game. If they make mistakes, they will lose this game. Because I don't count on Indiana to make a lot of mistakes. That's what I've seen from them in this playoff run and at the end of the season. They're laser focused, man. So Miami cannot play the stupid football they played against Ole Miss. The only reason Ole Miss was in the game is because Miami constantly screwed up. If Miami didn't screw up, they would have easily beaten Ole Miss. Easily. So that team cannot show up, the one from last week. Cannot happen. I need the team from Ohio State. I need the team against Texas A&M. Okay, I need the team that's playing smart and tough football. And everything else will take care of itself. But if they don't do that, they will lose. I guarantee you. If they play like Ole Miss, like they played against Ole Miss, they will lose. Brian Radke is in the house. Dolphin Dave says, how about Tampa Bay Lightning? 10 wins in a row. We're coming for your Cats. Well, the Cats are injured, right? So they had, they're about to get Kachuk back, and they're going to get other people back. Kulikov and Barkov is also, I think, going to get back towards the playoffs. And Bill Lindsay, who I think Bill Lindsay knows something about hockey, a little bit, right? I think just a little bit. He puts out. This is a season where they've had a ton of injuries. Did you see the stat that he put out there?
I did not see the stat.
Yeah, they've had but when I read this to you, you're going to go, no, you're lying. Get the hell out of here. That's ridiculous. Well, here we go. Let me just make sure that I can actually find the damn thing. Where are you? Oh, no, that's not the one. Okay. Go to Bill Lindsay's thing. See if you can. Oh, here we go. Got it. Listen to this. Okay. Respect to your Tampa Bay Lightning, but the Panthers obviously are not even close to 80%. Okay. And they're right in the mix to just be in the playoffs. But with all that said and all the injuries, the Florida Panthers, pay attention, are a league best, not conference, league best. Listen to me. 13-0-3 in 1-goal games. You know what Gnarls Barkley says about that, right? Ain't that some shit? Only team without a regulation loss in 1-goal games. 10 wins by 3+ goals. Odd, but they have won just one game by exactly 2 goals. Huge test of the month before the break. Stout performance versus Buffalo. Is that ridiculous? So when they lose big.
That is very accurate, though. That's the way it does play out.
That's how it plays out.
You know what was
But if you're playing a tight game with the Panthers, you will lose. You will lose. Bill Lindsay, by the way, that's a great stat. Thank you, my brother. That was fantastic. It wasn't for me. You just put it out there. I'm just using it, but I don't use stuff that's not mine and not give credit to somebody, for it.
I just look at the lineups. Before, remember, it was you had Barkov on the first line, Kachuk on the second line, Marchand was the third line, and the fourth line was Rodriguez and those guys. Now, Rodriguez and them are now on the first line. It's right. Like when you look at it, it's like the third and fourth line's like a bunch of, again, great players probably. Right. They're on the Panthers.
Oh, that young kid that played last night.
They're just guys that you normally wouldn't see on the lines if everybody's healthy.
There's a young kid that played last night. I forgot his name now. He looked really good.
He's the one that made the debut the night before, or the game before, right?
Yeah. He looks really good, and he's like 21 and stuff, So I'm not worried. I have not been worried the whole season. I've been telling you guys, they'll hang in there. They'll get healthy as the season goes on, and they'll sneak into the playoffs, and then they'll go. And if they're healthy, pretty healthy, they can make a run again, and it'll be the sweetest run of them all if they can. If they can. There's a lot to ask. Because to get to a 4th straight Stanley Cup, that takes a lot of mental and physical toll on a body to be able to do that, But I'm looking forward to it, man. I can count on that team to be, balls out. Something I can't count on other teams in town. Oscar Rojas. Oscar, am I still wrong about Harbaugh? NorCal is in the house. True Fin fan. Juan Rosa. Tony. Is it normal to have 8 people in a head coach interview? I would think that they would let the new GM hire the coach. Really, Ross and his son-in-law. So it's like 6. Whatever, dude. just get the right coach. That's all I'm asking. It's up to you to get the right coach. You know what I'm saying? Think Blue Dodgers. Thank you, sir. Lisa Rose, Stoney Stanley, Lenny Pena, Big Johnson, Bag on Head, Peter De La Torre, Eye of the Storm, Jeff in Long Island. Thank you out there. Bunch of you chiming in there. Thank you, Dr. Mario. They're going to kick you. Oh, they're going to nick you for showing the telly. Do they nick us? No, they don't. They don't nick us for because I guess it's portions of it. Or
the only time we got nicked was actually when they showed another YouTube thing behind us.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. Since then, we haven't. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
You probably jinxed us now.
Yeah, probably jinxed. Yeah, Dr. Mario probably jinxed us now. I would say that. He probably sapped us right now. Watching from the Bahamas, Big O. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you, Miko Sands. Appreciate you, my brother. Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, that's tequila in the blue bottle. And then he sends in another one. He says, FIU football segment brought to you by Saratoga. I like it. There you go. Saratoga interested? Let's go. Let's bring it on. The fans wanted to know, now you got good luck when Baltimore hires him. Hires who? Tomlin? I don't think they're going to hire Tomlin. No on Stefanski. Yeah, no, Stefanski's not going to come here. You know, that's, I think he'll have better options than Miami. I think the list is not Harbaugh or Stefanski. It's everybody else I think is realistic, is what I think is going to happen. We're going to talk about that list today on the show. We're going to have the one and only David Furones. He will join us. He's about to join us any minute now. And we'll get his thoughts on the head coaching hire and who he likes. Who do you guys like out of that list? Remember, it's the list they have. Okay? Like I like Joe Brady's one of my favorite candidates, and he's not on this list. I'm good with McCarthy, as you all know. And after looking over Kubiak, I think that's also a good one. Salah is another good one on this list. Those are ones that I would take a chance on. But who do you guys want on the list? Okay, only on the list. All right. If it's not on the list, then it's kind of wasting time. Let's see. Big O, thanks for pointing out my anger on Jimmy on the 62-7. I'll never let it go. Well, that's how we got to do it, Chef Joey. You know what I'm saying? We gotta blame the right person, for that. And definitely it's got to be on JJ. Tomlin has 2 years left on his contract. Oh my God, yes. Oh yeah, yeah. You're gonna have to pay quite a pretty penny for that. Yeah, they'll get a young guy there because that team needs to be turned over. Let's see, Big O, come on, you're almost 60. It isn't over till it's over, baby. With Harbaugh, oh, it's never started. It's not that it's over. It never started. You never had a chance. Okay? Never had a chance. And they know it. They know they have no chance. That's why they're looking at the other coaches. That's what they're going to do. By the way, where are we on Bitcoin? I know we were flirting getting close to 94. We're at 93,676, baby. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, 93,785. Maybe we're hitting 94 today. Once we hit like 94, 94 and a half, we're taking off to 100. We needed, remember I told you guys we had to pick up the volume, and the volume started picking up a lot yesterday. And so that's really, really important. And so maybe our period of consolidation is over, and we might be moving up now. We'll see. We'll see. We never know because we have a crazy orange person that starts doing crazy things and shocks the market. That back in the day, Peter Gabriel used to shock the monkey. Well, the orange man will shock the market tonight. So he'll say something and he'll shock the markets, and it'll change everything, and the trajectory was going in another direction. Oh man. Let's see. He's there. He's ready to go. All right, let's go. The one and only David Furones, ready to talk a little Dolphins football on our Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. There he is, the man that is trying to become Mike Tomlin's agent. Right?
How am I going to go about doing that?
I don't know. It's up to you now. You got to go get him that big TV job so you can get that commit. That if you and I get the commission just from getting him the TV job, it's more than you and I make like in 10 years. So it's kind of it's a good move for you. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to help you here. You know what I'm saying? This guy's ready to move on to the TV land right now.
He's going to TV. I guess take a little break from coaching. Well-deserved one after all he's dealt with in Pittsburgh. So go do that, and then I imagine he'll get the itch to get back into coaching pretty soon here.
Yeah, dude. He takes a year off.
Well, I mean, for the Dolphins.
No, he takes a year off, and he rejuvenates. He gets on TV. He shows his charisma, yada, yada, yada. Teams fall in love. And, he's going to want full power of everything. So then people will line up a year from now, or maybe 2, and then he'll get back in, and then he'll go wherever he wants. Because if he does it within the next year or 2, the Steelers get compensation. You have to trade for him. But if he waits 2 years, then you get him as a free agent. So it all depends. Does he want to do TV for a year or 2? I mean, let's ask you. You're the agent. So you're getting him the TV jobs, so you're going to have to fill us in. Does Mike Tomlin want to do 1 or 2 years of TV?
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel like after 1, he might just end up getting back into it, but you never know. You get a cushy TV job where you don't have the day-to-day grind. You just have to talk about football. You get paid millions of dollars to do it, and just offer your analysis and criticism of everything else going on, and you're not the one getting criticized, and you never know. You can fall in love with it and just keep at it. So, yeah, I mean, he'll be able to get whatever he wants, though, once he does want to get back into coaching.
Okay, can you agree with me that the Dolphins are not getting Harbaugh or Stefanski? You're not doing that hopium bullshit, right? I mean, like, I don't know how many times I have to tell you, don't hopium this shit, and it doesn't happen, right? So I do this all the time to you, and every time I tell you, yo, this is not going to happen, it's not going to happen. So first of all, is there any part of you suckered into Harbaugh or Stefanski?
You want to throw Stefanski into that as well.
I think he takes Tennessee. Yeah, I think he takes a job with a quarterback, my brother. They don't have a quarterback here, and they have cap hell. I think he's going to have the second. I think this guy Harbaugh goes to the Giants, when it's all said and done. Well, what? Oh, yeah, no, Marvin Allen is. Yeah. That was already in the works, the whole Marvin Allen thing. Yeah,
that just came out.
It came out publicly, but that was already kind of in the works already that he was on the outs. But
which makes sense once you have a shakeup at GM, and then it trickles.
Yeah. And Marvin will land quickly somewhere else.
Oh, he's so well respected, well known. across the league. Like everybody loves Marvin Allen across the league.
Yeah,
Marvin's talking people at the combine. It's just everyone knows him.
Yeah, Marvin's great. I don't think they have a shot. Well, you're already good at least on Harbaugh, right?
I mean, yeah, I've always felt why would Harbaugh want to come into this situation? I understand the Ross connections. Like that would be the only way is if he just says, you know what, I want to go to Miami. It's a low pressure situation because they're expected to lose for a couple of years. And, you know, I get to be with my buddy Stephen Ross and I get to be in Miami. I don't have to go somewhere cold, you know, retire down here just trying to turn the Dolphins around. That's the only way, because otherwise, why would you want to take on as the highest, the most prized coaching candidate in this search? Why would you want to go into a situation where you don't know who your quarterback is? You're about to take on the huge dead cap hit with Tua. And then obviously I know you've mentioned no connection with the new GM, John Eric Sullivan. So that would also factor into, I would believe John Harbaugh does not come here. Stefanski, though, I wouldn't put in the same category. I mean, two-time coach of the year, but I mean, also just coming off a situation where he was fired. So similar to Mike McDaniel, you mentioned Tennessee. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans go and now they got to let their whole interviews play out. But shoot, they might look at, hey, Mike McDaniel got the most out of Tua Tagovailoa for a couple of years. Then it went south after that, but he got him to a place where, okay, he was a Pro Bowler one year. He was leading the league in passer rating. He had the offense humming, this and that, where maybe he's a guy who could develop a Cam Ward. I actually would like Cam Ward as a University of Miami alum with Mike McDaniel, given what I know about both of them. So I could see that going that way. And then I would not put Stefanski in the category out of the question for the Dolphins. Not at all.
Okay. All right. So for argument's sake, let's just leave Stefanski out of it for the moment. Okay. Since I'm pretty sure Stefanski's not coming here whatsoever.
Okay, yeah,
There's
right,
plenty
yeah.
of other places, Atlanta, Tennessee. There's other places that he can go that are going to be, I think, better than Miami. He doesn't have to deal with the cap hell. By the way,
maybe Atlanta gets Harbaugh.
Baltimore may want Stefanski. I mean,
that
why
would be
not?
Wild. That would be so
Yeah, but I mean, you got a really good team. Supposedly, you thought you were going to compete for a Super Bowl this year. Well, then if you feel you're that close, then you better go get a guy that is there already, not a young guy that needs to grow or whatever. So you're going to get an experienced guy, and I would not be surprised if Stefanski's the guy, that goes to Baltimore. So anyways, for shits and giggles, follow me on this, okay? They're not getting Stefanski, and they're definitely not getting Harbaugh. I will bet my life on it that they're not getting Harbaugh. So if you were the circle there of the Dolphins, which is the guy you like the most, that you would say, out of this group, out of what I've done my homework, this is the guy out of this list that I think the Dolphins should hire? Who is it?
Boy, yeah. I mean, okay, and you're telling me I can't choose Stefanski now?
I just said that, yes. you speak the English, or what's going on here, man? Do you understand me, or what's going on?
I also got a lot of updates that I'm trying to keep track of at the same time.
Like I said, shits and giggles. You're not getting Harbaugh. I know you're not getting Stefanski, but I'm taking him out of the equation. I'm going to give you the realistic list that you refuse to look at. So now here's the realistic list without those two candidates. Who does David Furones tell the Miami fan base, this is the guy I need right now to restart the Dolphins?
See, this is so difficult for me because I know these names, but I don't know them personally. I'm not interviewing them. But I mean,
neither are we, David.
Well, so previously I did tell you.
I mean, I know I have microphones inside the offices, but really I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? So they've got to do it in the offices that I've got mic'd, So, but I'm not there all the time. So, most of us aren't, David. So come on, tell us which one. Come on.
Yeah. All right. I might lean toward Jeff Hafley, especially with the connection already there from Green Bay with John Eric Sullivan. So guys who work well together, I believe they did from everything I've come to find out about their relationship in Green Bay. A couple of years Hafley there. I believe Hafley would also, as a coach with a defensive background. So you remember he was a head coach at Boston College before. And remember when Mike McDaniel was in, he first hired the offensive line coach at Boston College. They do a lot of zone blocking, which I think is a good system, outside zone blocking. Get that in the run game. That's why Matt Applebaum was the first O-line coach that he brought in here. That didn't work as far as his retention, but just having the system in place. And how I always felt Boston College linemen coming into the league were always candidates. So Hafley was there for all of that. So I feel like he would bring in an offensive staff that at least brings in where it's not as much turnover for the system that's running, which I think is a good system, to kind of like a Shanahan style of offense that could work, is what I believe Hafley would then do on the offensive side, which then gives Quinn Ewers a chance on the back end. I wrote about that just yesterday. Is what would bode best for Quinn Ewers in a transition where he got a few starts. So give him the best shot to let you really see what you've got in him as you go through a transition, go through a year where you might take your lumps and you can't spend very much. And then it's a system where it could work, just having this kind of transition as then you find out what you really need and whether you need a quarterback in the 2027 draft when it's expected to be a stronger quarterback class.
Yeah. I will say I like the fact that he's been on 5 NFL teams. So the fact that he's bounced around, I find it to be a huge positive overall, because that way you get to know different schemes and different systems. He's also been on a few college staffs besides being the head coach of Boston College. He was at Rutgers and Ohio State and all kinds of stuff. So he's had a rich history overall. So I kind of like that. I kind of understand and like that pick. It's not my selection out of this list. For me, I'm more of a Mike McCarthy guy. I think right now, I talked about it last week. I would treat the Dolphins right now like an expansion team because I'm going through cap hell for 2 years. I don't have a lot of expectations, really. If you have a brain, don't have high expectations. I've got a whole bunch of picks over the next 2 years. I've got a young core right now. Initially, I don't have a quarterback, so I've got a chance now. I've got a honeymoon period, like an expansion team would. Nobody's expecting anything, especially in the first year. So for the first 2 years, I get to draft and develop guys along with the guys I have to kind of develop my culture and everything else. That in year three, I might be ready to really compete and turn the corner if I did everything right in year 1 and 2 with the draft picks, with the coach and all that kind of stuff. So what I love about Mike McCarthy, and I talked about this last week, is I can treat him like Renee Latchman. I can treat him like Kevin Lockery. So when Kevin Lockery took the heat and Cycli and all those kind of guys, you might be too young for this, but when he got him close to then they cleared house and they brought in Riley to take him to the next level.
Right.
When the Marlins were being brought along with Renee Latchman, when it was ready, they went and got Jim Leland and then made their run, and the rest is history. So I kind of like Mike McCarthy as the guy that can kind of set the foundation for me. And if he overachieves and does a great job, I keep him in years 3 and 4 and you move on. But if he at least sets the culture for me, does everything, does a real professional job for me, I can then get the hot guy 3 years from now. And then he can kind of take my collection of talent and everything else. Because I'm the GM. I'm picking all the talent. I have a time now, and I have a coach that can at least be a professional and bring everything along for me. Plus, he knows me because he was in our system and our draft room for many, many years now. And we won a Super Bowl with the man. Plus, he can build a staff. You know, these are the things that we don't know about Hafley. We don't know about Kubiak. We don't know about Minter. We don't know about Shepard. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if they can build staffs. And so, to me, I kind of would treat the Dolphins kind of like an expansion at this moment because you have that transition time there. And by the way, if you want to get high on your own supply, and we now find out that Mike Tomlin's going to be out for 2 years, the 2 years that Mike McCarthy warms up the seat and all the talent, you can then bring in Mike Tomlin in year 3.
See, I wasn't even considering Mike McCarthy as one of the, because I'm going off of the known candidates that.
Oh, that's right. You know what?
Have requested interviews with.
My bad. I thought they had requested McCarthy. They have not. My bad.
Okay, yeah.
My bad.
But
so
I mean,
out of the young guys,
yeah.
out of the young guys, it's Clint Kubiak that I like. Out of this list, he's been on 7 NFL teams. He's been on, I think it's 2 college teams at the same time. I like that. I like a guy that has bounced around and has seen all kinds of coaches and systems and schemes, and he's gotten to know his Rolodex grows because he gets to know all those coaches, and it gives him an opportunity. So out of that list, out of the young guys, which I don't know if they can build a staff, I got to go with Clint Kubiak out of that one, or Salah would be my number 2.
Okay, yeah. You prefer someone who has been around more NFL organizations as opposed to someone who had a coordinator job at a high-end school in college, got a head coaching college job, and then, went back and forth with the NFL. So,
but I like your guy has been around the NFL a lot. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like, the one I don't like? The one that the fans all fall in love with.
Is that Chris Shula?
Yeah, that's a stupid pick. He's only been on what I think it is 2 NFL teams.
Well, he's been with the Rams this whole Sean McVay.
And he was with the San Diego Chargers for 2 seasons as a quality control coach. So he doesn't have enough experience, and he's going to come here and he's going to try to coach under the shadow of his grandfather.
That'll be a tough spot.
No, Papa. No. He needs to go to 30 other teams that aren't the Rams and the Dolphins. That's where he needs to go. The last place that Chris Shula should ever go to is the Miami Dolphins. Okay? That is pure. One, he's not even ready for it. He's going to fail so badly. It's ridiculous because he's so young still, dude. He needs more maturity overall. I would definitely not put him in this position. Oh, my God. The fans will make him like he's the savior, bro. And they don't even remember that Shula's actual sons weren't great coaches. Maybe it skips a generation, but, I don't know, bro. Come on.
Right, one generation, and the next it was Dave Shula, right? Who
Mike and David Shula.
Yeah,
Mike Shula was an assistant in the NFL. David Shula was an assistant, but also ended up becoming the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Mike Shula also became the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, but they weren't winning, and then they Jim Leland his ass, and they brought in Saban, and then they started winning. It's interesting. I just talked about Renee Latchman, and that's exactly what they did. Mike Shula was Renee Latchman at Alabama, bro. How about that? So exactly what I'm talking about with Mike McCarthy, which is what I would do in a perfect world here. That's exactly what Alabama did. Well, he did a nice job. He did all right. Let's go get Saban, and the rest is history. So, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't wish it upon Chris Shula. Now, I think he's going to be a strong candidate. He's been under Sean McVay. Hey, Sean McVay didn't have all this coaching experience before. He took a head coaching job before 30. So, and then he's found success. So, it's not to say like you need.
Oh, no, but he's a coach's kid too. He's a coach's kid. He's been around football his whole life. And
Right,
he's got
wouldn't wish this
and he's
situation on him.
he's also got that photographic memory, which really is, that's like next level shit that some human beings haven't. What's the name of the red hair lady from Taxi? What's her name? Mary Lou, whatever. She has also a photographic memory. She can remember every moment of her life. And Sean McVay is like that. He has photographic Mary Lou Henner. He has that photographic memory that he can remember everything and anything that goes on, dude. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I don't remember yesterday.
I don't remember sometimes the question you just asked me when I'm about to answer it. So so there it is for me. Like earlier in this segment.
That is true.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish the situation upon Chris Shula to come here. That's just way too big of an expectation. I would like to see him get a head coach job somewhere else. I think he will be a strong candidate. If it's not this year, eventually, I think you're already seeing that. So, so he will be a strong candidate that I think eventually lands a head coach gig, especially being under Sean McVay and running a strong defense with the Rams. Maybe at times, at times that Carolina game didn't look that way, but. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I really like what they're doing on that side of the ball in LA. So I can see it eventually, just not now. But yeah, back to your original point, McCarthy. Yeah, if you can bring him in, he'd be my top choice. Sure, if you go outside of Harbaugh, shoot, if it's between even McCarthy and Stefanski, I'd probably go McCarthy.
Wow,
if you put them two head to head, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. I would go Stefanski.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's close. It's close.
Yep. Because I think I can definitely keep Stefanski long term, and I like him as a quarterback guy, overall. But wow, that's interesting. I don't think you can lose.
I like him as a run game, O-line building coach, which I think would bode well for the Dolphins, especially since they've already set some of that up with Aaron Brewer, with a Patrick Paul. Jury's going to be out on Jonas Vainaya. You got to develop him, but I think he would build a strong O-line, how you've always seen in recent years with Cleveland, how he had that run game humming with Dalvin Cook in Minnesota as offensive coordinator before he got to the Browns. So I see him as that, and then I still kind of question as far as his quarterback development, because then what was best that they had, it was with Joe Flacco coming in and leading them to the playoffs in 2003. I know it's the Cleveland Browns and they had the whole Deshaun Watson thing, but so I think jury would still be out on him as far as developing quarterbacks at this stage.
By the way, Diana Rossini is now reporting that as John Harbaugh continues to gather information about his next landing spot, I'm told Giants, Falcons, and Titans are considered the favorites to land the former Ravens head coach at the time. And, yesterday, Schefter threw out those three plus Cleveland in there. And my theory is that John Harbaugh is going to be really, really classy in all of this. Miami's not even going to be used. Normally they're used in some of these things to drive up the price, and then they go somewhere else. But because of Jim Harbaugh, John is not going to do the dick move on Miami.
Okay. Yeah.
I think if he does the dick move, it'll be on Cleveland. So that's why Schefter yesterday threw those three teams along with Cleveland in there and no Miami. And when I saw that, I go, oh, okay, I see what's going on. He's going to use Cleveland as the sucker, because if anything, I thought, how Riley gets that token interview with the star that he never gets anymore because they just give it to him because he's Riley and all that kind of shit. I thought that's what was going to happen with John Harbaugh, that he would give him a token interview on behalf of Jim. But when I saw that it was Cleveland, I go, oh, dude, he's thinking next level. He's not even going to use the old man. He's going to use Cleveland instead, so he doesn't shame the old man by using him to, offer him the world and then, use that offer to extract more from the Giants and from the Falcons and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think Cleveland is going to be the one that's going to be trolled, not the Dolphins in this one. What do you think?
That's interesting. So yeah, Harbaugh, the Harbaugh-Ross connection not serving as, oh, maybe it's the catapult that then convinces him to no. It would be what just has Harbaugh be honest with the Dolphins and say, hey, look, I'm not going to come to this situation and I'm not going to use you guys because I know you guys would offer me the world to go over here, and then I could leverage that somewhere else where I'd be in a better situation. So don't even let.
And by the way, what do we know about what do we know about his relationship with John Harbaugh? It's Jim, not John. Is it? I don't know anything about him and John.
I mean, I think it's the Harbaughs together. I've heard like that. Ross has invited John Harbaugh over to like. I think it might have been an Orange Bowl or something. Maybe it was the Orange Bowl where Michigan was in it, and John Harbaugh was there, invited in maybe a suite or something. I'm not sure, but what I understand it to be is that the Ross.
Okay, so Jim is there.
More so Jim,
wait a minute. So Jim's there. That's the head coach of his team. He's there spending all the money he does in Michigan. He's going to be super cordial to the entire Harbaugh family. That's just kind of that doesn't show anything that there's any like thing for John. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you would do if you're Stephen Ross and you're, taking care of Michigan people, you're going to take care of anything that's Harbaugh's family. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the media makes it out more than what it is on the John Harbaugh side is what I'm saying. That's all.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure closer to Jim, but through that, then there's still a connection there that's there, and that's more than probably John Harbaugh with other owners, Yeah,
he's from Miami of Ohio, bro. He doesn't give a shit about Michigan. He's from Miami of Ohio. I mean, if it was for they used to be the Red Hawks, right, or something like that.
I think that's what they still are.
Or aren't they the ones that changed? They had something that they changed, and I forget it. Anyways, it doesn't really matter.
I still see Red Hawks here. I did a
it is Red Hawks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
we could ask Frank Smith. He's a Miami of Ohio alum.
Yes. All right. So when does this thing end?
Boy, all right. So we got 8 coach candidates. I think they're still adding names. I wouldn't be surprised if more surface this week. I know 8 is already kind of up there. They got to conduct all these interviews. So I say that goes through this week into next week. Then I feel like they have a vetting process of then getting into some finalists to then have another round the week that follows that. So maybe we're maybe on the front end 2 weeks out, and then but more likely bleeds into possibly a third from here. So I think by the end of this month, I think would be a nice timeline there. And then, maybe like 2.5 weeks. And then it could go longer if someone's waiting on someone to make a decision, someone's waiting on something else. Like there's always things that could delay a process. Like last time when the Dolphins hired McDaniel, I remember they were kind of, was it either the last ones or no? They were second to last because the New Orleans Saints were still hiring after Sean Payton had retired. And then the whole thing we found out later about contacting Sean Payton while he was still employed by the Saints. He hadn't retired yet. So that we found out later on in the process, once the whole NFL third-party investigation occurred into the Dolphins following the Brian Flores lawsuit and all that. So there's different things that could delay a decision. But if they're just going interviews now, turning around into some finalists, and then maybe there's also like a coach is still participating deep in the playoffs. If it's like Clint Kubiak with the Seahawks and they're going all the way, then there's something like that could delay it. So. Chris Shulo with the Rams. I'm just throwing out the names that are out there and
I know I got
teams
you. Yeah.
That's all these things. Yeah.
Because this isn't college football with it. Hey, I just got hired. I'm out of here, bro. I'll see you guys later. You guys continue on the playoffs and you're Good luck
Yeah,
in the
right?
Super Bowl. We're out of here. No, that's yeah, you can't take that lane in the NFL.
Ooh, I like what you did there. It worked out well for these guys. Worked out well for the Canes.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. But they better not play that way against the way they played against Ole Miss. They will lose badly to Indiana if they do that. They better play a super clean game. Okay, super clean game against Indiana. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up on Friday.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Thank you. There you go, the great David Furones. And, of course, we love our friends at Welt and Rayom, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. They can help you with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. I hope none of this is not working ever happens to you. But if it does, save this number. Save it on the cell phone, 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. You can go to the website, wrflalaw.com. The consultation is completely free, so you can call and ask for Jeff or Dan and explain your situation, and they'll tell you if you have a case or not. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink, be the maestro of your own home.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices. The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Keep fans. Time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
There we are, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. How are you?
I hope so.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better than the Heat are feeling right now, and I don't know what the Heat should be feeling right now, Big O, because we're at one of those junctures where you just kind of wonder which direction it's turning, or maybe like you said in our previous Acura Pembroke Pines reports, this is the direction you sort of figured it might turn with this roster, with this group at the NBA right now.
And when do you look in the mirror and say, guys, we're not doing things right? When do you do that? When do you actually look in the mirror and realize that what you're doing is not working? And you can and the Heat are the definition of insanity, bro. They are the definition of insanity. They're not the franchise that I used to remember, bro. No, this was a cutting edge franchise. This is a franchise that was ahead of the curve on almost everything going on, and now they have fallen behind because they're stuck in their ways, dude.
Well, and I actually am writing a story about that, about how Eric Spoelstra just said that franchises refuses to do a teardown. So you can talk about the definition of insanity, but we sort of have to define that insanity. If the definition of insanity is not being able to compete for a championship, you're correct. If the definition of insanity, though, is being competitive, being in the postseason, well, they've been there consistently and throughout. Big O, last 6 years, 2 NBA Finals, 3 Eastern Conference Finals. Out of the last 6 years, they are competitive. Here's where you get in trouble. When you settle on just being competitive, when you walk into training camp and going, we could be competitive this year. When you go through the current skid that they're on right now and you're going, we still can be competitive. Yes, Big O, but Big O, competitive against what? Competitive against all these losing teams where you build up the record, even though you lost to Indiana. But what does it mean? Because if you can't hang for more than 2 quarters with the Oklahoma City Thunder, where are you going? What are you hanging with? Oh, we're going to get to number 6 or a good seed in the play-in. So it's all perspective. There is not insanity where the Heat stand because they're saying we are, air quotes for people just listening, competitive. You know what? They are. They aren't awful. They aren't the Nets. They aren't the Pacers. They aren't the Jazz. They aren't the Pelicans. They aren't the Kings. That's true. But sometimes you have to, it's cliche. You have to take a step back to take a step forward. And sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to take 2 steps forward.
Yeah. And
I
said 100 times with you, the only team in South Florida that's earned a mulligan to do this is them. They're the only ones because they're the only ones that can say, hey, dude, we've done a quarter century of excellence. We have to do this because this is today. And those of us that actually follow the NBA and really understand and understand even the business side of it, we're like, yeah, dude, yeah, good for you. That's how you have to do it. You have to reset. I
agree.
Have to bottom out, bro. You have to bottom out. It sucks. But this whole thing about being competitive, of course, you're always going to be competitive because you have Eric freaking Spoelstra. That's why you're always going to be competitive.
But Big O, I hope you didn't lose me there.
I'm just saying that you're always going to be competitive because you have Eric Spoelstra. But Eric Spoelstra also creates a facade. You're really not as good as you look. He's just making you look better than what you really are.
I would put it this way. I agree. And I even listen to the show when we don't do our accurate Pembroke Pines report and you tell me all about your Bitcoin and your crypto. And a lesson there is
94,000, baby.
Thank you. I have 20 of them. My point there being is you also don't sell low. I don't know why I'd be here if I had 20,000 of them, but that's another story. You don't sell at the worst time. So this is what I would do right now in this moment on our accurate Pembroke Pines report today on January 13th. I would move Norman Powell because he has value to a contender, get a first-round pick. Yep. I would move Andrew Wiggins because as a number 4, he has value to a contender, get a first-round pick. Now, I know your tear it to the ground also involves Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo.
Amen.
I can't fully disagree, but now is not the time.
Right.
I agree. The point of the season, and again, folks, you really got to listen to our accurate Pembroke Pines every week. Big O said this at the start of the season. We need to build Tyler Hero's value up so by the trading deadline, there'll be a valuable chip there. There is not. There is a guy who has appeared in 8 games to this point. You have to continue to build that up.
Yeah.
You've wanted to move Bam for a while. His contract extension kicks in next year at $50 million. Don't know if I can fully disagree now, but if you trade this version of Bam Adebayo, you're getting pennies on the dollar. You have to build him back up. So when you're asking me, Ira, today on January 13th or whenever you're listening, what's the blueprint? The blueprint for me is move off of Powell, and God, he's been awesome for this team. Yeah. Move off of Wiggins, and he has been a good soldier after the way he got treated, being traded by the Warriors. You will still have enough ample talent there to feature Bam, maybe get him back to his game. To feature Tyler, Norm won't be in his way anymore. So instead of Tyler averaging the 19, 20 points since he's been back, he can go back to his 24, 25-point self. That's added value. In the offseason, then sit down and address that when you have a sense of who is Kalel Ware, who is Jaime Jaquez Jr., who is Nikola Jokovic, who is Kasper Jakachionis, and then you can move ahead with draft packages or other packages. What's happened is the growth has gotten somewhat retarded by the injuries to Tyler Hero and the awful first half of the season for Bam Adebayo. So I don't know what the hell they have now, but I do know this. Opposing GMs are not saying, I've got to get me a Tyler Hero. Just like they're not saying, I've got to get me a Trae Young, I've got to get me a John Morant. Guys who don't defend and don't show up don't have a lot of value. And people are not going, I've got to get Bam, because you know what? They wanted Bam when it was Olympic Bam, when he was winning gold in Tokyo, when he was winning gold in Paris, and you were saying, wow, that guy next to good players is something else. And you know what, Big O? If Bam does get traded eventually and gets traded to a winning situation, he will be great for that team.
Yes, he will.
Because he will have a superstar to support, which he has not had here, depending on your thoughts of Jimmy Butler since he was drafted, since Bam was drafted in 2017.
Yeah. Now, I got a follow-up there on the Bam thing because I wanted to ask you this. Because of the way he has played in this first half, okay? And this might be just ridiculous in a way, but I did see it in the blood clot years, so what the hell?
Sure.
I'm trying to build up value here. So if I do this where I move Wiggins and I move Powell and I get my first rounders, maybe I tweak my offense back to where it was last year. Because maybe this offense doesn't suit Bam. And so then I can go back to where I was. It suits Bam. I then get back to where he was. I raise his value back up. Maybe I get Tyler back up.
Yes, because Bam and Tyler, the pick and roll is the way to go if you want to get their value up. Now, this goes back to the start of our show today. Does that style win a championship? No. Does that style advance your championship hopes? No. We are talking about building value. I could not agree more. Build the value. If you happen to win a few along the way, God bless you. Because here's the deal, Big O, and we've got to stress this. Your thought has been, and some others' thoughts have been, the Heat should lose. You get that high lottery pick. You got Boozer. You got the kid from Kansas, from BYU. You got great players. You're not going to get there for this reason. You can't suck enough to be worse than Washington or Brooklyn or Charlotte or Utah or Sacramento or New Orleans. You can't be bad enough. That ship has sailed. If you want to suck in the NBA, you have to purposely go out and try to lose games like Utah did the other day against Charlotte when they had 2 beer vendors and 3 ushers on the court and they got down by 50 to Charlotte. I mean, they're making a statement and they're doing that. So the Heat will never get to the point of being a top lottery seed. They might luck into a top lottery pick, but you know what? You get a guy in the top 10, it gives you a nice restarting place. Again, look where our draft choices have been, Big O. You could talk about Bam at number 14, Tyler at number 15, Jaime around 20, Kasparis around 20, Kalel Ware at 15. That's a place to get nice players, and they've gotten nice players. The lottery in the top 10 is when you get your leading man, as Detroit has shown with Cade Cunningham, as OKC has shown with Jalen Williams, as Dallas is showing with Cooper Flagg. That's how you reset. That's how you rebuild. That's how you get back up to the top. So, yeah, take a step back. Still try to win because Eric Spoelstra is never not going to try to be the mad scientist, but build the value for Bam, build the value for Tyler, get draft capital for the other guys, and no one in this town is going to complain.
And by the way, it gives you a great, once you move Powell and Wiggins and all that, as a coach, it kind of gives you the excuse to say, well, we've tweaked the roster. I need to kind of tweak what we're doing here, and we kind of change things to kind of complement what we have now.
Besides this offense, it gives you the runway to say, he may not be perfect, but we have the opportunity. Now Kalel can play. Now Niko Jovic can play more. Now Kasparis can play here instead of the G League because you've cleared the minutes for Norm. You've cleared the minutes for Wiggins. There are so many reasons to go in that unless you're one of these people like Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg and even Adam Simon banging their head against the wall there saying, we still can contend. I know this. If the Heat are buyers, and I'm sure we'll talk about John Morant and some other players and go in that direction, then I'll tell you this, Big O, the Heat will continue to contend for the playoffs for years. But the Heat will be as far from a championship as the teams that consistently just try to, we're one step away. We're one guy away. Patience, patience, patience.
Okay. That's something that Eric doesn't have for where? Patience. I again, what is this season about, dude?
It is
Come on, bro. Play the kid.
Okay,
come on.
Big O. I'll do it this way. We'll go back to our families and our kids. Okay, you with your daughter, me with my son. You want to give them everything in life you can and make the path as easy as possible. But when they do wrong and they don't do the right thing, there is a parental danger in rewarding them anyway. So. Kel'el Ware on Saturday against Jay freaking Huff, and I believe that's his middle name, was awful. He was terrible in Indy. Then he does get limited minutes, and maybe it's not fair, but you know what the grand total of his rebounds were in Oklahoma City? Give me his total. How many total rebounds did Kel'el Ware have?
I think it was 2 or 3. Or
one. You're over. You should have taken the under there. So what I'm saying is this. Kel'el has put together 2 awful games. Should you reward that? And I think Eric Spoelstra has said, meet me halfway. Do a halfway decent job, and I'll give you a halfway decent amount of minutes. I think there's a danger, Big O, when you reward someone for awfulness. Eric Spoelstra always says this. Our players grow in games that matter because we're always contending for something. All the guys down there in Sacramento, he doesn't mention the teams, but in Sacramento and Brooklyn that are putting up these great rookie stats that mean nothing because they're LaMelo Ball-like empty stats. Trae Young for recent years also. So I understand where fans are coming from. And I understand they want to see Ware, and they should see more Ware. But at times like this, if he's going to be awful against Jay Huff and be inert against the Thunder, you can't reward the minutes. You can't say, okay, and against the Suns, we'll give you 35 minutes. Because then what example, what message does that send to the kid? He is very good. He can become very good. He can become a rotation part. But you've got to, like I said, you got to raise him the right way.
Okay, the John Morant stuff. To me, that trade gets even more complicated when you look at the state of the Heat because
I agree.
Okay, if you're going to make just for shits and giggles, if you're going to make the Tyler for John Morant trade or something, you would be making that trade because the team is playing really well and Tyler is kind of like an extra right now because of the things that Powell and some of the other guys are doing that they're making up for Tyler's absence or whatever. And you can afford to do that. And you say, well, we're going to add another element to our team because we're playing really well and all of that. But that's not what's going on with the Heat. The Heat are not playing well. They're not looking good. And you're looking more like a team that should be selling. So the last thing I want to do is bring John Morant into a situation where I'm selling and I'm, distributing players out. And then he's got to come to play with a bunch of young guys in a learning environment or whatever. That's not what I want. Plus, this is Miami. I haven't seen any kind of maturity from the kid at all this year. To me, there is no good reason.
He's a shot player. His shooting percentage is down. He can't hit a 3. They're giving it to him. But there's nothing there that tells me I should trade for that guy in any way, shape, or form. Okay, but I take it to a different place. Even if you have to give up nothing, Terry Rozier, Simone Fontecchio, and maybe nothing else because they want to get rid of him as much as Atlanta wants to get rid of Trae Young. Let's say that. Okay. What you have to say to yourself is he has 2 more years under contract, around $40 million. You have to say to yourself right now, is he worth $40 million in salary cap space? I don't think the answer is anywhere close to that. So I would say, no, that's salary cap ballast. That's the $26 million, $27 million you're sitting with Rozier. Even if there wasn't an FBI scandal, he wouldn't have been playing dead money on the books. The only thing I will say is this. The only reason you would make a move is this. He's under contract for 2 more years, but just 2 more years at 40. If you do not believe that you want to extend Tyler Hero, or believe that Tyler Hero is worth the money, and you want to sort of wash your hands of that, then you might make that move, because then you don't have to do the Tyler extension. You don't have to say 40, 50 million, doesn't play defense, might fit or might not. That's the only reason you do it, as a replacement player short term for Tyler if you believe you can rehab him. The example people Big O have used is this, and I think it's way different, but people use this. Tim Hardaway with the Warriors when he came to the Heat. Rick Adelman had Tim Hardaway as a third-string point guard. Everyone thought his knees were shot, and he was done. And all of a sudden, we're in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks on a routine basis. But Tim never had off-court problems. Tim never had the Miami nightlife. What's the kid from Chicago going to do? There wasn't any of that. But, man, I will tell you this. Pat Riley loves a reclamation project, probably a problem, reclamation project. Pat Riley thinks he can do it. Pat Riley has brought in others, Anthony Mason and others, to South Beach without any major problems. Hell, the South Beach problems he had were more Smush Parker than valet attendants, and problems like that. And Rafer Alston not showing up after a while. And Gerald Green, I don't know what happened in the lobby of that hotel or apartment, but mostly he's held it under control. So I will say this. Do I think they should? And I'll give you the two reasons I think they would. They don't want to take a risk on an extension for Tyler Hero, and this buys them 2 more years of time. Pat Riley's reformatory for wayward players firmly believes that he could bring Ja into his office. And we are getting to a point now, and I don't mean this to be sort of rude or anything, but players don't necessarily relate to Pat Riley anymore because they don't know who the hell Pat Riley is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They don't know who the hell I am. You've been around for a while. They look at a younger generation. I get that. So I do wonder if Pat Riley is convinced himself that he can sort of reclamate. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. By the way, speaking of if they go young and then they start kind of not trying to tank, but they won't be that good, let's say next year, if they try to do something like that, what do you think about the NBA talking about changing the rules of the lottery? And I thought it was a very interesting thing to try to change those rules and not reward people just because they have the worst record.
Like almost like a repeater tax. I agree with it. You can't finish top 3 in the lottery consecutive years. Like if you're going to be bad, hey, everyone gets a mulligan. You can go wrong once. But if it's going to be 2 or 3 years and you're okay seeing and you're doing what the process wasn't Philly, that's bull crap. Because Big O, like you said, you can sell a bad season or 2 to South Florida fans. They'll understand. They've had Spo, they've had rings, they've had success. They get a nice show. They're in Miami. But the teams that say, let's go 4 or 5 years with that, that's a bunch of BS. We've seen San Antonio, the way they have lucked out with David Robinson and Tim Duncan back in the era, and now again with their top 5 draft choices the last 3 years. At a certain point, that has to stop. So, yeah, you shouldn't summarily continue to reward failure. I love the Andy Ellisberg plan. Do whatever the hell you want till March 1st, lock in the standings, but then we don't have teams at the end of the season like we saw, like I said, with Utah, playing ushers and beer vendors to make sure how bad they are. This league has a problem. You can't sell me a ticket and say, hey, and you're going to get crap tonight.
Yeah. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel so Heat fans can check you out?
Wrote a feature earlier today, Eric Spoelstra, talking about the ongoing search for role players. That whether you think the Heat have their starting lineup or not, who are going to be their Mike Miller, their Shane Battier, their Birdman, and he said it is a never-ending struggle. And when you find the guys who realize you can be in this league and not be a star, that's when you've hit on it. Shane Battier knew that. This generation of Heat, you've talked about it, Pelle Larsson and how much you love him. To a lesser degree, a Drew Smith, you need those guys also. Yeah. So when you get the right guy, you have low-price guys to augment them, which you'll need in the salary cap world. So I am writing about that, and I'm going to post a notebook soon, and I'm sorry, but it's Eric Spoelstra saying we will never tear it all the way down. That's not who we are. Sorry.
We're in the middle of 94,000 right now, so we're really pumping right now. So Bitcoin's doing well. So at least while the Heat is hurting me, Bitcoin is climbing back up again to 100. So
you know what? And if it was between you and me, I would have the Heat take their salary cap space and get on down to accurate Pembroke Pines, so everyone can come out a winner.
Damn right. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. And make sure you follow him there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Better yet, subscribe. Ira, we will catch up next week, my friend. Thank you.
When hopefully the Heat back on a winning streak. We'll see. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. Safe travels, as always. All right. Customer appreciation sales have been going on right now. And Acura is the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. So that means you don't have to drive around the Southeast United States searching for the best price. You can just go on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines, and you'll find it. The 2026 Integra, $239 a month, 2.9% financing for 60 months. The 2025 ADX, $239 a month, 1.9% financing for 60 months. 1.9% finance is ridiculous. The RDX 2025, $369 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The TLX 2025 model, $389 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. Tell them that Big O sent you. They've got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. They've got an outstanding service center led by Mike Chan and Jordan Ferber. They know how to get it done. They will take care of you at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right. Good mood. Bitcoin moving, and this is big. I told you needed to hit the 94,000 mark, and we are at 94.4. So this is good. This is a really good pump. This might be the pump we were finally waiting for. Yeah, baby. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? The amazing Alan Blanco. If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery, give him a ring at 786-618-1443. Panthers last night, they get it done against the Sabres. 4-3. They've won 2 in a row. AJ Greer with 2 goals yesterday. And Bob, 20 saves. Didn't I talk about Bill Zito and how he has to find the right people, and he goes and finds an AJ Greer who fits? And he has 2 goals last night. You see, you get mentioned on the show, you score. Lundell and Reinhardt also had goals. Verhage had 3 assists last night. Friday, they're in Carolina, 7 o'clock face-off. Tonight, 7:30, Phoenix taking on the Heat. Miami is 4-6 in their last 10. They're stinking out the place. Fort Lauderdale United are off till January 31st. The ladies are back on the pitch. They will be hosting Lexington SC on the 31st at 7:30 at Beyond Bankcard Field. Go to FTLUTD.com to get your tickets, get your season tickets for the second half of the season and a playoff run, baby. Let's go. Fort Lauderdale United. Last night in the NFL playoffs, Texans pounded the Steelers 30-6. The fraudulent Steelers are out. The Texans move on. What the hell was going on with C.J. Stroud yesterday? 5 fumbles, 2 of them lost, and an interception. Wow, that is crazy stuff. They will take on the Patriots on Sunday at 3 o'clock in that one, and New England is favored by 3, by the way. UM has also made an offer to Alabama QB Ty Simpson for $6.5 million. I'm sorry, $6.5 million. He is, of course, leaning to go to the NFL, but they're trying to convince him, don't be a Jet, be a Cane. So there you go. Speaking of the Canes, Indiana now favored by 8.5 in the game against the Canes next Monday. Over and under is 48.5, so it's gone up a whole point. It was 7.5. Now it's 8.5 favorite for Indiana, minus 350 on the money line, plus 280 for the Canes on the money line. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Oh, and one more note. The Miami Dolphins added defensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions, Kelvin Shepard, former Dolphin, to its list, head coaching list and interview list. There you go. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. They added another name today? Who?
Raiders defensive coordinator Patrick Graham.
Oh, okay. I know him.
And thanks, Gus. Appreciate it.
All right. Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham. Yes, sir. What's up? What do you got?
The Eagles have fired their offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo.
Okay.
The Eagles now will be going for their 5th offensive coordinator in 5 years.
All right. And
two of them, though, left for head coaching.
And they fired also Herbert's offensive coordinator.
Yes, he was going to let go to.
Of course, because, it's his fault that Herbert chose. By the way, what's the guy's name? Wright? With the long face, the long nose? Is it? Yeah, FS1, exactly. I forgot his first name. Something. Jay Wright? No, it's not. Is it Jay? Whatever. Anyways, you know the right guy that I'm talking about. And I got to give him props because he's the one that said it. Nick Wright. Did you know? He came up with 2 amazing stats on Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert in the playoffs has the second worst quarterback rating in history. Number 1, Andy Dalton. Number 2, Justin Herbert. Quarterback rating in the 3 games that he's been 0-3 in the playoffs. Here's the other thing that he also mentioned. In the 3 games, in those playoff games, his defense came up with 10 turnovers in those 3 games. Did you listen to me? 10. In as many games as those 3, do you know what's second place? 5. Insane. So, yeah, I know his offensive line wasn't great, but it's like nobody says anything about Tua's offensive line sucks. They can't pass block for shit. And they don't say anything. And he's a midget. Yes, sir.
I thought it was going to be the Juwan Jennings one. You saw that one?
No.
He has as many touchdowns in the playoffs as Justin Herbert.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. He is Jeff George. He's the athletic Jeff George. I'm telling you, I've said this for years now. He is the athletic Jeff George. And that's what I've called him. That's what I will continue to call him till he proves me wrong. But he is the athletic Jeff George. There's no doubt in my mind. By the way, Dolphins now have added Patrick Graham to the list of head coaches. And, when I start to look over the list, Patrick Graham, Robert Salah, Clint Kubiak, Jesse Minter, Kelvin Shepard, Chris Shula, Kevin Stefanski, Jim Harbaugh, and Jeff Hafley. Okay, look, I'm not getting into silly talk. I'll let QAM or any lazy local writers that want to keep talking about Harbaugh or tweeting about Harbaugh or whatever. I'm not doing that to you all. Okay, they have no shot. I've told you that from the get-go. I think some people are finally turning the corner and realizing that there's no shot at Harbaugh, but whatever. It is what it is. They'll all learn their lessons. And I don't think they're getting Stefanski either. Okay, so I'm not going to work myself up. I would love Kevin Stefanski here. Now, I told you I would hire Mike McCarthy, who's not on this list, and I told you how I would treat it. I would treat the Dolphins like an expansion team over the next couple of years and all that stuff. Listen to the piece I did earlier in the week or last week, and you'll check it out if you haven't. Okay. Now I look at Chris Shula. I don't want anything to do with Chris Shula here. The worst place in the NFL. He's only been to 2 NFL teams in his career, so he doesn't have really a ton of experience. Hasn't seen a lot of coaches out there. So to me, he's too young, too green, and to be under the shadow of Don Shula. That is horrible, dude. He needs to go. If he does get a head coaching job, which I doubt he will in this cycle, I think he's another year or 2 away if he continues on the trajectory. Go anywhere else except, of course, the Rams and the Dolphins. But I wouldn't. Chris Shula, Stefanski out, Harbaugh out. Hafley's all right, actually. Hafley's got a good resume, excellent resume, actually. Got a lot of experience, been on a lot of teams. This is what you want when you hire a young coach, a guy that's been on a lot of teams, because that gives him an opportunity, because when he has gone to different NFL spots and college, he has played with a slew of coaches. He has been able to build a nice resume, a Rolodex, and gets to see a lot of different schemes and cultures. So to me, Halfley is one of those guys that's an interesting one. Would not be my pick, but I understand people that want Halfley. Look, man, we're all throwing darts. I love Salah out of this list. Okay, he's probably one of my top guys here, right behind the young guy that I do like. Jesse Minter's another one that's also got some experience, and Kelvin Shepherd, who played here and also bounced around a little bit on a couple teams. For me, the guy that I like the most is Clint Kubiak. He comes from obviously a football family, because those of us that have been around for a while, we know his dad. Okay, so with that, that's one of the pluses. That's one of the things that we talked about with Sean McVay and other coaches like that we see in San Francisco with Shanahan. To me, that's a real plus. Plus, Clint Kubiak has been on 7 NFL teams. 7. That's a lot of assistant coaches he has worked for. That's a lot of different schemes and cultures that he's been a part of and he's been able to experience. I think that's important. Besides being a coach's kid, which he grows up in the environment and all of that, he goes to 7 different NFL teams now, and now he's an offensive coordinator. Plus, he's a quarterback guy, which I like that too. And he's been in 2 college programs, and they're both major programs. Okay, so I think it's Michigan State and Penn State, I think it is, that he's been in. So 2 big college football programs and 7 NFL teams. For me, Kubiak is one of those really interesting guys. Salah has been a head coach, has been on 6 NFL teams, 2 college teams, also Georgia, Michigan State, I think it is. This is, to me, super important. And Salah has an advantage over these other young guys. He's already been a head coach. So he already knows what it's like to go through that ringer. So that's a real positive. Kubiak and Salah out of this list are the guys that I really like, overall. If I'm going to go by this list, I'm going to go Kubiak first, and then I'm going to go Salah second. And then, obviously, first would be Mike McCarthy. Okay, and this is all because I'm convinced I'm definitely not getting Stefanski. If I have a shot at Stefanski, everything I told you, scratch it, give me Stefanski. But, I know Harbaugh's not coming here, and I don't think Stefanski is either. I think Stefanski will have a better opportunity. But when I start looking at everything else, Minter has been on 2 NFL teams, 6 college teams. I like the combination of Kubiak's upbringing and experience now, and he's doing a hell of a job over there also, because he's actually resurrecting a quarterback. Okay, where the Minnesota guy started, he picked up from it, and I don't trust Sam Darnold. I still don't trust. Do you trust Sam? Have you gotten to the point? I know you've had him on your fantasy team, so but I just don't trust him. I still can't.
He's got to show it in the playoffs, right? Because he did this last year, and
then he shit the bed.
Yeah,
right. And so this coach has done a really good job with him, and that's another positive that I like out of it. So for me, Clint Kubiak is the young guy, and the guy that I like here. Then a Salah would be probably my second choice out of all these guys. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay? All right. What else do we have? Oh, by the way, is also going after an offensive tackle, Jordan Seaton, who has left off Colorado, and he's supposedly one of the better available dudes in the portal.
Take what you want, but a leak from Florida, who's I guess also going for him.
Chris Leak?
No, not Chris Leak.
Oh, he's still playing. I was going, man, he's got a lot of eligibility.
It's a leak, but it looks like upwards of $2.5 million for Lance Seaton.
Wow.
That looks like the
so
going
Florida's offering 2.5.
Again, that's been leaked.
Right.
It's been on a couple different of the fan floating kind of site things, but yeah, of the recruiting sites. So if you think 6.5 for a quarterback, 2.5 for a lineman.
Yeah.
And Malachi Tony as well.
Yeah. And by the way, Canes are like I am. how many times have I told you that outside of Mendoza, I like the Ty Simpson kid. I like the Alabama kid. I've told you over and over and over again, I like the Alabama kid. There's something there I think you can work with. I like him, dude. And so it's really up to him to be a Jet or a Cane or whatever else he wants to be. But if he does come out, man, that's the second guy. I don't buy the Oregon kid.
No, I think he should go back after this performance. This last game was like,
yeah, he should. That's a great idea.
It's one of those things where, and they also already signed his. If he does come back, Dylan Raiola transferred over to Oregon, and he's already set.
I saw that
he will sit next year if Dante Moore comes back, and then be the starter in 27. He's already said
more money for
Oregon
him.
Yeah, just sit there and do it. But the interesting thing is that's become the Canes' MO, right, for a quarterback.
Yeah, right
Cam
now.
Ward was like, I might go to the NFL, wait.
Because he's still building the program.
Back. Carson Beck too.
Right.
And then now Ty Simpson says, hey, I'm going to go
because they're
NFL,
trying to buy
like,
they're trying to buy Luke Nickel one more year. Because he's only been in the system 1 year. He's a true freshman. And so they want to buy him another year so that way his junior and senior seasons he can play and be the starter. And so but if you load the team enough, maybe he's smart enough to make the transition already as a sophomore. I mean, dude, we saw Ken Dorsey and Bernie Kosar. I mean, I saw him. I don't know how old some of you are, but you might have seen Ken Dorsey. But I saw Bernie Kosar also play at a really young age. And he was able to handle it just fine. Just fine. By the way, for you silly Dolphin fans out there that fall for the bait and switch there on the whole John Harbaugh thing, and you let these little minor league podcasters talk, waste time talking about John Harbaugh or radio stations or whatever. Here's a Christopher Klein from Fansided. I saw he wrote a top 5 places for Harbaugh. Atlanta 1, Giants 2, Cleveland 3. Why Cleveland 3? I don't understand that one. And then he's got the Raiders 4, and I understand that because you got Mendoza, and you figure, okay, the whole Brady thing, and they're going to try to change everything there. And they've got some young players there besides that they're going to get Mendoza. And then Tennessee 5 with Cam. I get that one. All of them I understand except Cleveland. And unless he's thinking the same thing I'm thinking, to just use them for leverage. Oh, Shador. I don't think. Yeah. I guess, but he
didn't be enough to.
He didn't do enough to entice you. You know what I mean? And I don't blame Shador as much because it's just a terrible place. So it's hard to even stand out in a place like that.
I mean, that would be the only thing I can see because everything else is behind everybody else there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I disagreed in the article, but I agreed with him that he didn't put Miami in there because Miami does not belong on that list for a 63-year-old man. Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm starting to like Petty Barry Jackson, by the way.
Oh yeah. He's been on fire. He's fun.
Listen to this, what he put out about 47 minutes ago. Josina says Tomlin would like warm weather climate, but I can't retweet her because she blocked me after me, Shefty, Darlington, Schrager, Jonathan Jones, NFL Net, Good Housekeeping, and Bravo all disputed a report that Miami reached out to Harbaugh before firing McDaniel.
Right. So she blocked him?
Yeah. Petty Barry Jackson. I love him. I love it.
She was wrong about Tua back a year and a half ago or whatever it was, 2 years ago. I forgot when that story. She was dead wrong about it because I know for sure she was wrong about it. So she does throw some shit out there sometimes. And again, it to the Dolphins' credit, they shouldn't reach out with a coach in place. But the second they fired McDaniel, they reached out, and then they found out, no thanks. And that's why they're already going in another direction, and they're aggressive, and they're adding more and more names. If you think they had any chance at Harbaugh, you think they'd be wasting their time adding more and more names? They'd stop at 5 or 6 or 7. That would be more than enough. They keep adding more and more. They're up to 8 or 9 now or something.
I think each person has picked somebody. I think that's what they're doing in the room.
Yeah, everybody gets.
Who's your guy, Ross? Okay, Zillman.
Yeah.
Reno, who you got? Eggman. Let's go.
It's crazy.
Here's a funny thing. Ravens owners talking about the search for a new head coach.
Right.
In the middle of that, they let him know that Mike Tomlin was stepping down.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to trade for him. And Pittsburgh's going to ask you for the world. Baltimore will not even make that phone call because it's not worth it. They're going, it's in the division. They're going to ask him for, we'll do it here. Give us 4 first-rounders, no problem. We'll do it for you. Here you go. We love him. We don't want him to go nowhere. We got 2 years left. You're inheriting a 2-year contract that you're going to have to extend and rework. But we'll take 4 first-rounders for him. That's what they're going to do. And somebody else calls. And it might be 1 first-rounder in a second. You know what I mean? But if Baltimore calls, you're going to have to overpay in a ridiculous fashion because they own his rights for 2 more years. You don't get to walk away and all that kind of stuff from this situation. You just don't. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. Bitcoin is over 94,351. I love it. Wow, Bitcoin's pumping, and the Dow is down almost 500 points. I didn't know that the market was hurting that bad right now because I've been on. 489 points the Dow is down. The S&P is down almost 31 points, and the NASDAQ is down 1. All because Tomlin stepped down. The market went to shit after Tomlin stepped down. That is crazy, dude. Damn. Did Tomlin's stock was in NVIDIA or something? That'll move the entire market. What else do we have here? Let me see. On the chat board, King says, watched a lot of Steph. My in-laws are Browns fans. Steph is as bad as McD was at game management, and his schemes got his QBs hit a lot. Okay, so he is not a Stefanski fan, King Jasper. Okay. Dolphin Dave says Chris Shula could be the Dolphin head coach. His grandfather, a lot of time has gone by since Don Shula has coached the team. Yeah, that not enough time has gone by. It's the only guy that all we do is talk about undefeated every year. And who is undefeated? And, all they ever talk about is when they were really good, and that was Don Shula. And if you talk Dan Marino, that's Don Shula. And so it's all Shula. So Dolphin Dave, that has not been forgotten, and it'll never be forgotten. It's the only time we were actually good. We were respected under Don Shula. Under Stephen Ross, we're disrespected completely. We're a complete joke, dude. The Dolphins are an absolute joke of a franchise nowadays. They're a disgrace. That logo's a disgrace that Ross came up with. Hire Shula to break the curse. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I'll see all of you turn on his ass so quickly. My God. Tim Big Riggins says, the same reasons you said McCarthy would be a fit for the Dolphins apply to him with the Steelers. He's also from Pittsburgh. I got you. Okay. If hiring a Shula is all it took to break a curse, the Bengals would have won several Super Bowls, and Alabama never poached Nick Saban from the Dolphins. Oh, man. Lenny Pena says the past draft, the Heat had a chance at a top pick, and they decided to go to the playoffs to get embarrassed. They could have had a top 7 or 8 pick, or maybe even better in the lottery. Yeah, no, it's really sad where the Heat are right now, dude. How they're just a shell of what they used to be as a franchise. So, yeah, it sucks. Kosa says Ty Simpson sucked in the college playoffs Why so much for mediocrity? Is it all his fault? What else? Graham could be Rooney Rule interview. Dude, he's Robert Salah is a minority. Isn't Jesse Minter also a black man? I believe he's a black man. There's a couple of minorities in here. He's not the only one, right? So Kelvin Shepard is also a black man too. Is white. So Shepard is black for sure. I know because I covered him. So you got a couple of minorities there, dude. You know what I'm saying? So that all, whatever. I don't really care about that stuff. In the Dolphins case, it's not about that. You know, they're as inclusive as it gets of an organization. So I wouldn't worry about any of those kind of things. I think if they bring in somebody even of color, it's because they actually have respect and they're bringing him in because they consider him a real candidate. And their history tells you that they're willing to hire a minority in any position. You know what I mean? So that's actually a pretty cool thing. What else? He says, I saw Brett Romberg at Duffy's 57th Avenue yesterday. Crazy how O linemen shred the weight. Oh, he lost all the weight? I didn't know that. Good for him, dude. Good for him. I didn't know. He's a good dude, bro. He's a good dude. Yeah. I got to know him a little bit working with him. And he's a good dude. What else do we have? Tomlin won with Cowers players just like Gruden won with Dungy's players. We don't have a stacked enough roster from a former coach for Tomlin to lead us to the Super Bowl. No thanks. Plus, I don't like his personnel decisions anyways. I don't want Tomlin here. I have no interest whatsoever in Mike Tomlin. He had his time, and I'm good with it. If somebody wants to get him, that's fine because you're going to have to give him personnel control. That's why the John Eric Sullivan thing, once they hired him, that gave me even more ammo that John Harbaugh wasn't coming here. Because I believe from everything that I'm hearing behind the scenes, John Eric Sullivan is his own man. He's not coming here to then go hire Harbaugh to just be a yes man the entire time. I don't believe that. John Eric Sullivan took the job because they're giving him the authority. Which is actually that's actually really good, by the way, behind the scenes, folks. If you want to know and you want to feel a little better about the Dolphins, you're not hiring a GM and then you're going to take the power away from him. They're actually going to give him personnel power. And that's really, really important. Really important. By the way, all your cooling and plumbing, they are the best in the state of Florida. In fact, #1 AC and plumbing service. Why? Over 350,000 satisfied customers. They offer you extended warranties, financing available, same-day installations, free repair estimates, 7-day-a-week service. They've been at this now. It's starting their 53rd year, man. 888-204-5554 from Homestead to Vero Beach. And they also have a new office in Naples, and we have a lot of listeners on the West Coast. So if you live in the Naples area and you're having problems with your AC or plumbing, call our friends at All Your Cooling Plumbing, All Your Cooling and Plumbing, 888-204-5554. All right. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And don't forget to also hit the like button. Very important that you hit the like button. All right. Man, that was nice. We hit 94,000. I love it, man. I love it. Fantastic. It's McCarthy. McCarthy had Rodgers, but he was backing Favre. Okay. Tomlin too hip-hop for me. I actually think that Tomlin is not hip-hop enough nowadays. I like to spin that line that came out of that building during that time when Tomlin interviewed, and they said, "Oh, he's too hip hop." Well, I think he's not enough hip hop nowadays. I don't think he's hip enough to what goes on in the NFL. He has an antiquated ass, old ass offense. Okay, antiquated ass, old ass offense. It's so ass. I had to say ass twice. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the way this guy's been coaching lately, and especially with the personnel. So I will El Paso on Tomlin. Okay. Pablo says Tomlin is a respected coach. He'll be highly sought after in my mind. I don't think neither Tomlin nor Harbaugh are coming. Well, I can guarantee you that. For sure, they're not coming to this shithole. There's no way that they would come to this terrible place right now. You know, it makes no sense to go with it. All right. What are you going to do? What do you got?
I don't know if this changes anything, but Ty Simpson has officially signed his paperwork
for the
to
NFL?
enter the 2026 NFL draft.
He go. That's it. Bye-bye, birdie. Bye-bye, happiness. Yes. See you later, baby. See you later. Let me do a little music. What the hell? What the hell? What the hey? What the hell? Let's go to La Música. And we start off birthdays for musicians on the 13th of January. All right, here we go. Tim Kelly, guitarist for Slaughter, born in 1963. Country music singer and actor Trace Adkins, born in 1962. Suggs, Graham McPherson, singer for the ska band Madness. One Step Beyond. Da-na-na. You know what? I might listen to One Step Beyond when I get in the car later on. Okay? Just for the hell of it. Born in 61. Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips, singer and also one of the founding members of it. Born in 61. Let's see. James Lomenzo, bassist for White Lion, born in 59. Who else? Fred White, drummer with Earth, Wind, and Fire, born in 55. Trevor Rabin, so freaking underrated as a guitarist. He was born in 1954, the South African guitarist. He was in a rock band called Rabbit. He was also, of course, with Manfred Mann, and he was also the guitarist for Yes from 83 to 95. And let me tell you something. I saw Trevor Rabin live on both tours, 90210 and Big Generator, I think it was. Those two tours, I saw Trevor Rabin at the Hollywood Sportatorium, and that son of a bitch put on a show. Okay, he is a badass guitarist. He shredded that night, and that was really cool to see. Born in 54, happy birthday to Trevor Rabin. And by the way, those two albums, 90210 and Big Generator, I love those albums. I love that era of Yes. Obviously, I love the original era of Yes, the prog era and all that. And but that era where it was like the MTV era of Yes, I thought it was a fantastic era, and I love those two albums. I can jam those two albums on a loop. Let's see who else. We're done with musicians. Now let's find out famous people born on the 13th. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means they have passed away. Actor Rip Taylor, born in 1935 with the mustache. Let's see. Actor Richard Mole, born in 1943. Let's see. Actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus, born in 61. She is 65 today. Penelope Ann Miller, the actress, born in 64. She's 62. Actor Patrick Dempsey, born in 66. He is 60. TV producer Shonda Rhimes. She's a badass. Born in 70. She's 56. Entrepreneur and political candidate Andrew Yang, born in 75. He's 51. Actor Michael Pena, born in 76. He is 50. Actor Orlando Bloom, born in 77. He's 49. Actress Jill Wagner, born in 79. She's 47. Let's see. Actor Liam Hemsworth, born in 90. He's 36. And NHL player Connor McDavid, born in 97. He is 29. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers for us?
Yes, sir, we do. Bearcat Wright was born on this date in 1932. Ian Riccaboni is 39. Jason Ayers, he turns 44. John Cronus was born on this date in 1969. Mason Ryan turns 44. Yujiro Takahashi turns 45. And the great Shad Gaspard was born on this date in 1981. That date being January 13th, 2000.
I always said that guy was a gas bag. That was his name? You said gas bag, right?
Gaspard.
Oh, Gasberg. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I always, okay.
By the way, Fred Warner's practice window.
Yes, opened?
Opened.
Wow.
3 months. Dislocated and fractured ankle in 3 months. Literally.
He's my coach of the year.
October 12th was when he went down.
I'd give Kyle Shanahan the coach of the year. There's other guys you can give to the Seattle guy. I'm not going to complain. You want to give it to Vrabel, whatever, dude. There's a couple of guys that really deserve it, and they've done an awesome job. Kyle Shanahan has overcome, my God, his best offensive lineman, his best defensive player, which is the best player on the damn team. It's just so many injuries that they've had, and they just lost Kittle. And he's also missed during the season. Okay, so it's just ridiculous, the amount of injuries that they've had. All right, let's start off with music history. What happened today in music history? You're all wondering. Well, in 69, Elvis Presley started recording in Memphis for the first time since the 55 Sun Sessions. In 69, the Beatles released We All Live in a Yellow Submarine in the United States. It was issued as the soundtrack to the animated film of the same name, which premiered in London in July of 68. In 73, Carly Simon's album No Secrets, featuring the hit single You're So Vain, hit #1 in America. God, that is such a great song. Such a great song. In 79, Toto peaked #5 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart with their debut single, Hold the Line. Love is... all right. In 79, soul singer Donny Hathaway died by suicide at the age of 33 in New York City. What a talent, man. Gone way too soon. Way too soon. Rest in peace, Donny Hathaway. Let's see. In 86, the Bangles released their second studio album, Different Light, and it features the singles Another Manic Monday, written by Prince, by the way. If She Knew What She Was, Walk Like an Egyptian, and Walking Down Your Street and Following. In 89, Fine Young Cannibals released their second studio album, The Raw and Cooked, and it features She Drives Me Crazy, woo, woo, like no one else, and Good Thing. Dun, dun, good Thing. Yeah, I know that song too. Let's see what else. In 2004, the NFL rejected Bono's request to perform American Prayer during the Super Bowl halftime show as part of an effort to raise awareness about the AIDS epidemic in Africa. No, we can't do that. No. In 2015, Mark Ronson released his fourth studio album, Uptown Special, and it features Uptown Funk's going to give it to you. Let's see what else. In 2021, Sylvain died from cancer at the age of 69. He was the member of the New York Dolls, one of the first bands of the early punk rock scene. All right, let me see if there's any birthdays that were not on that list. Oh, Don Snow of Squeeze is 69, was not on that list. That's it. It's the only one. That's what happened today in Musica history. Please smash the hell out of that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. The Yes album Talk is great as well. Big O, if you were the GM of the Dolphins, would you draft Simpson out of Alabama to compete for the quarterback position? Oscar, where are the Dolphins picking? Come on, dude. They have no shot at Ty Simpson at all. He'll be a top 5 pick. In fact, he's the second quarterback taken now. He'll be taken ahead of Moore. That's my prediction. And all those guys will go in the top 5 picks pretty much. So you're not getting him. So forget about it. So don't even, you know what? You could do this. You could call QAM and they might entertain that because they don't know what the hell they're talking about more often than not over there. Or you could call those Dolphin podcasters that they like to entertain all kinds of stupid subjects and things and topics that never happen. So I would warn you, kind of like, Jim Harbaugh, kind of like Jonathan Taylor, kind of like Cook, kind of like many of the things that we try to tell you it's going to be a shitty season. They're going to win 7 games. I try to warn you. I try to save you from heartache. So if I'm you, I wouldn't talk Ty Simpson because I don't believe Ty Simpson will be available. This is a desperate league. They've reached for quarterbacks. Blaine Gabbert was the 3rd pick in the draft. They will pick him early and earlier than where Miami is at. So don't worry about it. Okay. And by the way, Ty Simpson right now would do nothing for Miami except get killed. You don't even have the team around a quarterback. So first build the team around the quarterback. And then you can, bring in a quarterback. But don't bring in a quarterback until you have a real culture around here. That's what I think they need to do first and foremost. They don't need to think about a quarterback right now. That's not important. Go get a journeyman and get you by. And you can get a late round pick or a mid round pick or something that, you have 3 third rounders or something. You want to do that or take a 4th rounder and a quarterback since you have 3 third rounders. Do something like that. You bring back Quinn Ewers. You have a young draft pick somewhere in the middle of the late rounds, and you have a veteran, and just get by this year. I wouldn't force the quarterback issue at all this year if I'm the Dolphins at all. There's no reason to. Down with the 11th pick would be my pick. Downs. Okay. All right. It's just you're not really getting a quarterback there at that point. Thank goodness Ross isn't the GM, so he won't be hiring anyone. Well, at least let's hope not. Aikman's not going to even be around for the start of the – he's only here for the process, dude. He's not here to join the team. This is kind of his way to get his foot in the door about this process. He wants to be a GM himself. So now he gets to watch GM interviews and how they go about it so he can prepare for it down the line, all these kind of things. Okay? So, what else? The reason the team went 1-6 is because of the rookies' learning curve that were playing a prominent role in the defense. I can only blame McDaniel for not pulling Tua. No, that was that had nothing to do with it. They lost 3 to 5 games last year. Had nothing to do with rookies. He's a terrible coach, dude. Just a terrible coach. That's all. Let's see. What else? Another Beck in the second. No, I'm not taking Beck. I think Beck. I wouldn't take Beck in the NFL. Yeah, I think he's a backup. in the NFL. I don't look at him as a starter in the NFL, but that's just me. I take him late rounds, third day, like a what's that called? A developmental pick, but I'm not taking him early at all. Yes, sir.
You know the Ravens owner, Steve
Bisciotti.
Mm-hmm. He's cutthroat, huh?
Oh, Bisciotti. Yeah, he cut him. He fired Harbaugh on a phone call.
No, but they asked him, they said if basically the question was, if Tyler Loop made the field goal versus the Steelers, would he still be the head coach? You know what his answer was?
No.
For a week.
Oh, for a week. So he was going to fire him anyway. Right. But he has to say that now.
No, well, yeah, but it's just like
it would actually be cheesy that his whatever 18-year career or whatever 16-year career hangs on the balance of one game.
I mean, it's just the way he did it. Like he was drinking water, the guys asked a question, and he just put the water down for a minute. He goes, for a week with the lid on, and like
the Biscotti guy will he's cutthroat. Yeah, definitely. Now that's the way it goes there, man. And that's why that organization has had so much success. Now let's see if they can continue it, because sometimes you get on a roll, and we're watching it right now with the Miami Heat. You get on a roll, you know what you're doing for a while, and then after the gravy train ends, and you don't know how to continue it. The Golden State Warriors, they're going to get old, and will they be able to continue it? No. The San Antonio Spurs, they did it for a while, and then they reset, and now they're back. It's hard. It's not easy. The New England Patriots, they had a hell of a run. They reset for a couple of years, and they were able to get their mojo back. That's not easy to do, man. Get that mojo back. That's a supreme talent for any organization to be able to continue to be good. A lot of organizations just have their run. Look, our Dolphins. We had our run with Shula, and it's over. We were never, ever, once we got to the 90s, yeah, that's it. It was like we were never that organization ever again. Once we were in the mid-90s, that's it. It was over. Like the very early 90s was kind of the end of it. And you still weren't winning anything big, but at least you were a pretty good team. But that's it. It's over. And we never found it again. And that happens to most franchises. Very few know how to maintain it and find a way to get back on the gravy train. So we shall find out. We shall find out for some of these teams. I'm still waiting for our team to get back on track. All right, we are out of here. We thank the great people here at Hialeah Park, Steve Calabro, of course, Mr. Brunetti. Nothing happens without Mr. Brunetti, of course. So we always appreciate that out here. And we're always out here in the second floor poker room. So come on out and join us. They've always got the TVs going on. They've always got all kinds of great giveaways. Downstairs, by the way, loose slots and everything. So a little Vicky Bakery. If you get hungry, they got restaurants. They got beautiful bars all over the place. The lovely ladies will serve you drinks while you're gambling. TVs everywhere, so you can watch all kinds of games, sporting events, races around the country. You've got also the windows, so you can wager on any of the races around the country. So you've got it all at Hialeah Park. You can also get the sports app, download it there. You see the QR code. It is the Hard Rock app, but it's connected here with Hialeah Park, and it helps us get it through there. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing, but of course we get a little credit for it. So the folks at Hialeah, and so we appreciate that. And that's it, folks. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 over there, or noon. What is it? What do we do at Toyota? I forgot now. Noon. So tomorrow we'll be on at noon at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. Come on by and say hi. We'll be out there for a couple of hours having some fun, and we shall see you there tomorrow. And we thank Sean Stanley. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.